Jason?
Danny?
What are you doing with your phone?
Well, I feel really bad.
About?
Well, a podcast came out last week and we didn't really bring something up. And I thought it was really important that we did.
What did we not bring up?
It was a really iconic week for our glorious nation. I don't know if you were aware, but it's been 28 years since our glorious nation appeared in the pinnacle of football, which is the World Cup. And last week, well, actually 2 weeks ago now.
Italy's been at the World Cup many a time.
Screw Italy. Italy's not at this World Cup yet. Eat it, Italy. Eat your pizza. We'll batter your pizza.
Kidding on. Italy's been shit for ages. But yes, Scotland made it. We done it. You were there. You were at the game.
I was there. I got battered and bruised.
Lucky bastard.
I mean, you say that. Like, I've seen all the goals on YouTube. I can't remember one of them.
All of them were like worldlies.
It was amazing.
Because so McTominay's goal, I mean, that is probably the best and probably will remain the best Scotland goal that's ever been scored. But then the other goal for the corner, I mean, if Shankland hadn't tapped that in, that was going in. So that was going to be another worldly. Then you had Tierney with that. I mean, that was a cracker first touch. And then, that last goal for the halfway line.
Yeah. Apologies. We're not like this podcast. Like, I know most people aren't into football, or if they are, whatever. But just indulge us for a second here because we don't get to do this often. And I know we've been on your BBC TVs all week in England just talking about this, but it's fine. See that first goal for McTominay, right? My mate just came back down with some mince pies, right? So I grabbed a mince pie, took one bite into it, and then suddenly I'm like being barred about. Like, what's happening? My pie goes flying. I'm on the ground. I was like, what the hell happened? So Victoria just got an overhead kick. I'm like, oh, amazing. Where's my pie? I've just got the little foil tray. My pie has been thrown 5 rows behind me. I'm like, oh my God.
Did you say a mince pie?
Scotch pie, mince pie.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
Scotch pie.
See, they're very different things.
Yeah, they are very mince pie.
Yeah. I was like, they're serving mince pies.
It's Christmas.
At the football
It's
games.
Christmas,
What is
baby.
going on?
Yeah, Scotch pie. I don't even know what pie it was. It could have been a kebab pie for all I know. I never get a bite into it. But no, it was amazing. I don't really care for like normal football. I watch international football alone and I've followed Scotland my whole life. Beaten them pretty much every home game for God knows how long. And yeah, it was probably the best night I've ever had there. It was so good.
Yeah, it was incredible. Well done, Scotland. But anyway, let's move on for the football chat. I have been experimenting.
Well, it's about time this came out. It's an open floor, Daddy.
No,
just tell us.
Not like that. I have been experimenting with using like a 90s kind of like style kind of camcorder vibe in my films. I've used it like twice now.
You talking about the Camp Snap?
Camp Snap.
Snap.
So it was like it kind of looks like a Super 8 to the untrained eye, but obviously it's not a Super 8.
Because remember, I bought this first and told you about it.
No. I told you about it. You bought it, and somehow you managed to get it delivered like about a month earlier than me.
I just figured I was straight on the ball before you.
No, you're a prick. That's what you are. You're a prick. So I've been using it. It's been nice. I like just handing it. So like in the latest clip that I've put out, which will be a week from when this podcast goes live, but I handed it to the little flower girl because she came up to me and she was like asking me all questions. Oh, I love cameras and like, what does this button do? And I was showing her. And I was like, do you want to film something for me? And she's like, yeah. And her eyes lit up. Poof, iPad thrown away. I was like, oh, good. Mum, I know what to get for Christmas. And I handed it to her and I was like, you just need to hold it down and just point it. And I really wasn't expecting to get much from it. And yeah, she captures like her dad. There's like a shot of her. You can't see her face properly because she's got the camera up to her eye, but you can see her body in that. And then the dad as he walks into the room. And then obviously the reaction between the father of the bride and his daughter, the bride, having that little moment. And then the her granddad, because it's the bride's niece, kind of sees her and he's like, oh, are you filming? It's a nice wee...
It's really nice.
It's cute.
The real benefit of having one of those cameras is the ability to give it to people at the wedding. But it's great that she filmed that because she did a really good job.
She's
I've
only
had
like 7 or something.
I've had people in their mid-30s really struggle with the
Just pressing
just
it.
pressing that trigger. Just
it's
so many
bad.
photos.
I was like, just hold it down, sweetheart, and that's it. And she's like, I got it. I was like, okay.
She
you
nailed
do
it. Did a really
She
good job. But
yeah, it was just a rather lovely moment, wasn't it?
it was.
But speaking of rather lovely,
Jesus, he's done it again.
That is such a pun.
every week,
He's off straight away.
yeah, every week. We have the fabulous Lou from Rather Lovely Films on the podcast
Hello,
today.
boys.
Lou, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm happy to actually be properly dressed, not in pajamas, not looking like a gremlin in my editing cave, as most of us are at this time of year.
We are all there with
special
you.
treat.
We are all there with you.
It's absolute shambles the state that I turn up to my edit suite sometimes. Honestly.
But it's,
I mean, it's the joy of being self-employed. No one has to see the true horror apart from everyone on the school run.
Well, let's see, this is the thing, right? So because, well, one, I do need to get dressed because I need to go and take the kids out to school on the daily, but also I couldn't even, like, if I wanted to jump back into, I mean, I don't really wear jammies anyway, but if I wanted to, because my office window that is like, so I'm editing on the desk here, the window is here, and that's the front of my house. And I've got quite a nosy neighbour across the
And
street.
you edit with your blinds open? Are you mad?
Sometimes.
My blinds.
Kirsty comes in. Kirsty comes into my room and she's like, why are these blinds not open and open them? I'm like, close the blinds! Close the blinds. I'm like a gremlin. I'm like,
It's
no!
like being a teenager all over again with your parents coming in.
I know. She's like,
Are you
why, do you
turning
need
the
some
light
light in
on?
here? And I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't need light in here. What are you doing? I'm like, go away. She's like, no, you need to open the curtains. You can't just sit here all day. I'm like, I can.
Aye.
I can.
Jean will generally
And
say,
I
oh, people will
will.
think we're dead. I'm like, well, let them think I'm dead.
Good. I feel dead.
They'll be off my back
Feel
about the
dead
editing.
inside.
I love how it's just like a universal language that only videographers can speak.
Yeah, because all the photographers are like, I mean, we've just finished a podcast with a photographer just there, and he's like, oh yeah, I mean, this time of year it's just great because like the editing's done and it just means I can just focus on like parts of my business and that. I'm like, yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but at this time of year, I like to focus on other parts of my business. Like,
I mean, come on. Read the
Yeah,
room.
all that
Read
other
the room.
stuff that I never end up doing, even when.
It's funny though because they just like obviously photographers they just don't have that kind of concept because it's like other ones are like, oh yeah, wait, what podcast do you listen to when you're editing? And I'm like, podcast? What podcast?
I just get Netflix
That
on,
is- I
watch a
remember
series.
years ago I had a conversation with one of my photographer friends about this, and she says, "What music do you listen to?" And I said, "I don't." And honestly,
Music
she
bed.
was horrified. Like her face dropped, and she was like, "Oh yeah, because you need to listen to the same thing over and over again."
Yeah. Kirsty the other week because I was over like I just couldn't. There was basically like I had to cut this groom's part of his speech because he just waffled for so long and then brought back to the point. But like his inflection, I was trying to like cut it at the right bit, so it was just this babbit, 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 babbit. And Kirsty's like, "Can you stop listening to that thing or put headphones on?"
Oh,
I'm
you
like,
think
"Yes,
this is a
sorry."
choice, Kirsty? Do you think this is a choice?
Why are you listening to that on repeat? I'm like, because I really like the noise.
I hear it in my sleeve.
Glutton for punishment, so we are.
Yeah, but Lou, for our listeners out there that don't know who you are, can you give a little bit of an intro about you, your business, how long you've been doing it, that kind of stuff, please?
Oh, no problem. Talking about myself is the worst thing for me. I can talk, but anything about myself. So hello, I am Louise if I'm naughty, of Rather Lovely Films. I've been doing this full time for 4 years. It's quite amazing that I'm still doing this full time after 4 years. But I've kind of always done. I mean, I'm sure you can ask me. You're going to ask me more about this in a minute. But I've kind of. I did my very first wedding in 2017. So it's actually mad to think that I'm almost approaching my 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
I'm like, am I that old? More so than anything. And yeah, I'm based in the Midlands. I'm in Staffordshire, and I kind of mainly work around in the Midlands because I'm really blessed here, because within like a 2-hour radius I can be pretty much in most corners of the main part of the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's me in a few sentences.
You're not originally from the Midlands, though, are you? Is it London you're originally from?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, hence why I speak properly. And say bath properly and grass properly. I mean, you guys, you're okay because you're allowed because you're Scottish. You know, are you a different country? Are we going there today? But everyone, I think, but I've been up here now since 2007, and apparently I'm not as posh as I used to be, which is, I know it's very upsetting. But people say you've got an accent, but I can't place it. But that's fine. I mean, I have actually been in the Midlands now longer than I've been in London. Wow. So maybe I don't count as being a Londoner anymore.
So yeah, so originally from London, you moved up to the Midlands, and you said it was 2017 that you first started shooting weddings. And has it always been Rather Lovely Films? Has that been what it's been called from the get-go?
Pretty much, yeah? Yes. I to be honest, it was, to begin with, probably from that 2017, because I shot a New Year's Eve wedding 2017.
Oh wow.
So really, do we say 2018? Anyway, it really was. I mean, I shot an absolute handful of weddings between 2018 and 2020. So at the time, I didn't really have like a solid business name, because it was just pure passion project from my perspective. And then when I realised that actually maybe this was something I could do a little bit more than just, literally, I'm talking I maybe did 5 weddings a year. So it was more just, when it came to the name, I've always said, oh, that's rather lovely. Oh, that's rather lovely. Oh, how lovely, rather lovely. I find that that's just been in my vocabulary. So it was a very organic naming process.
Love that.
So,
as opposed to sitting down. I mean, you do sit down for hours, don't you, and try and think what represents me, and all, you know, all of those kind of standard questions you'd ask yourself when you set up a brand. But it probably came to me at 3:00 in the morning. Yeah,
it's funny when something just clicks.
As these ideas often do.
Yeah.
What was your first business name?
Stairway Weddings.
Woo.
Better than mine. The Glasgow Snapper.
One is more ambiguous than the other.
The Glasgow Snapper. It's just brilliant.
Were you a photographer's then to start off with?
Nah, I mean, basically I just set up like a little Instagram hidden profile thing because I was embarrassed about it. Because like at that point I hadn't really shown too much of a creative side. Just from like Kirsty, and then Kirsty like found it. I don't know what she was. I think she had my phone or something like that on my Instagram, and I think I know I had my phone. I kind of like double clicked on, you know, me double click on the profile thing, and it came up, and she's like, "What's this? The Glasgow Snapper?" And, yeah. It's so bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's so bad.
It's almost a bit like our first films. It's like, please just never ask me to show.
We have never actually shared that on the podcast, but
we have.
Did we share?
Yeah, because Gary for Good Luck Wolf messaged in about it.
Oh,
I'm sure, or maybe we didn't.
I know we did it privately.
Did we? Have we outed it?
Didn't think we put it out
Stairway
there.
to Snapper.
Oh, I will find the Stairway Weddings film. That was terrible. But yes, before obviously all this, you were teaching English to the world, weren't you?
Oh, you boys have done your research. Yes, I did. I was a secondary English teacher for the 10 years prior, before going full time.
Yeah,
wow.
I always thought that was such a tough gig, teaching English to kids, because you get some people so interested in it, but and then
any
you get
topic. Just teachers in general. I don't know how they do it.
I know English was, because it's one of those mandatory ones. You all have to go through English, so it's not like you get a choice. Like, okay, I'm either here because I have to be, but English was one of those things that I was like, I could be really good at it if I applied, but I just used it for my naps.
You can tell.
I mean, we are very good at reading bedtime stories in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
No.
What was that like
Go on.
transitioning from teaching to videography? Because teaching is such a demanding job.
Well, I would say that teenagers and wedding guests are very similar.
Oh, really? That's a fair point.
Especially in terms of, actually, I mean, you must have done, but and again, I don't know, maybe you might not have done. It's just from the conversations I've had, the amount of transitional skills between teaching and working in weddings, whether as a photographer or otherwise, is enormous. There are so many ex-teachers that I've come across in our industry, particularly photographers. I know quite a few photographers who, and that's only maybe because when I shared that I was a teacher, someone's said, oh, so am I, or I'm looking to move out of teaching into full-time photography, videography, or something in the wedding world. So I think it wasn't as literally, even though the jobs are totally different, the skills that I feel are most valuable are very similar and can be applied directly to what I do now. Like I said, it's not just literally drunk wedding guests and teenagers. Very similar. But it is kind of like the people aspect, the organising aspect, the having to constantly think ahead. Also things like the deadlines. Like I'm so used to like marking deadlines and exam deadlines.
Yeah.
That when it comes to like my editing, for example, the pressures feels very similar.
Yeah.
Because I've still got somebody to answer to.
Yeah.
And I've got to get this done by then. So, to be honest, it's not as the literal transition wasn't that bad. But I tell you what, I really struggled with. I struggled so much to be self-employed at first,
Really?
which sounds mad. You build yourself up to become your, you don't need to work for anyone but yourself. I know so many people would dream of that, but I really struggled. I really thrived off kind of the being around people and the conversations I had every day.
I think our fire alarm is going off in the building.
Oh!
But it's not. I think it's out there because we'd hear it here, surely.
Nah. 2 minutes, Lou.
We're just going to check
That's
it out.
fine, no worries.
If you see flames at any point, just
I'll let you know.
Call 999.
We'll just double check. It's definitely coming out from there.
Looking to upgrade your cameras? Well, let's introduce you to the new Lumix flagships, the S1R2.
And the S1 II. Some of the features we love about these cameras are
On the S1R2, being able to crop in past the APS-C in pixel mode, giving you 3 focal lengths from 1 prime.
And the S1 II is also feisty, giving you 5.1K open gate at 50 frames a second.
Both of these cameras have 100 frames a second with a 1.1 crop.
Plus, both these cameras come with industry-leading IBIS, which Lumix is known for.
Lumix also has a loan scheme which allows you to borrow these cameras for 48 hours so you can try them out and make sure that they're the camera for you.
Not only will they deliver them for free, but they'll also pick them up for free as well.
Use the code TWVP at the Lumix store for 10% off.
Check the link in the show notes below. It's okay, folks.
That's a boring email.
It was a false alarm. Although Danny did decide to...
Right, for context, I knew the fire alarm was already off and I could see people making their way back into the building. So I decided...
You cruel bastard!
I got out of the room first and then I held the door handle and put all my weight on it. So he's trying to open the door handle and it wouldn't open, so he locks the door and tries to open it. He's like, open it. He's like, is that you?
I was like, oh my God. Because this door handle's dodgy at best of times. Am I going to burn? I mean, that's cruel. That's cruel.
That was cruel.
I'm just hoping there's flame effects when you edit all this together. Do we reappear?
I know. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we made it. I'm going to take this jacket off.
Yes,
now.
the jacket's coming off now.
I was going to say, you're warm enough there, lad.
Yeah, although I thought that was why the fire alarms went off. We had blew a fuse when we've had the heaters on here a while ago. Right.
Well, back
Another
to...
bit of excitement on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah. Where were we?
Or whatever day it is that we're recording this.
I don't know, what year is it? Where did we get to?
You were just talking about the crossover between teaching and
So
that.
were you also in the BBC?
Yes. So my very, very, very first job, I did broadcast journalism at uni. And again, there's this horrifying realization that I started university in 2007. And apparently it's 18 years later.
Don't worry, I graduated in
What's going
2008, so.
Like, one thing I'm quite conscious about not putting on my website is, like, it sounds like a UCAS application. Like, I always wanted to be a videographer. I always loved cameras. I wanted to be a journalist. That was my, like, aim in life. And actually, it's really weird. Like, as much as people we would just say, obviously, oh, I feel so old now. Actually, I kind of feel like actually the last 20-ish years, I'm like, it all makes sense. This is where I was always supposed to be, telling people stories, because that's what I love the most. That's what I've always loved. I've always loved watching documentaries. Even for an English teacher, I was always more of a non-fiction girl. So, like, real life stories, as opposed to... it sounds mad to think that an English teacher is saying, I don't really like reading fiction books. Yeah, you will learn all about how teaching to me, and actually what I do with my camera, I say is the least important thing. It's the same with the knowledge for teaching. Actually, what I feel makes you successful in those jobs is very different to what you would. It is not like on paper. There's two very different perspectives. Mine might be the minority, but we'll come to that. But yeah, I went to do broadcast journalism. It's always what I wanted to do. And so my very first job growing up in London at the time is I got a job at White City, BBC White City at the time, the iconic television centre. You know, you hit the pinnacle, age 20, and I was on the One Show.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, very first gig was the One Show, and I lasted 2 whole weeks. 2 whole weeks. And it just because I could not deal with the corporate environment. So when you go into television, you go in at the bottom regardless. It doesn't matter what your qualifications are, you go in at the bottom. And I was a runner, and I instantly just didn't like how I was... Nobody gave me any respect. And I'm not talking like, oh, you should respect me because, you know, I work in television on the One Show, don't you know? It was just literally like, you knew you were at the bottom of the pile. And that did not work well for me. But at the time, I also, as part of my student job, worked at Alton Towers, which is only 10 minutes up the road from where I live.
Amazing.
Best job ever. I mean, this is an amazing job, but you wouldn't do it now, age 37, really. But age 19, 20, working on the roller coaster at Alton Towers, amazing.
Amazing.
And again, set me up for working with wedding guests.
Yeah.
Put your harness on.
Oh, what a varied background, and just like, you know, all that life experience and, you know, work experience will, you know, as you said, just set you in great stead for working in weddings. Which, you know, I guess is evident in the work, I guess, that you are putting out as well, because, you know, Jason and I have watched the whole of your films and really love the kind of the feel that you're able to give from your films.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like, how would you describe your style?
You probably worked out very quickly that I have no business sense whatsoever. I would say my style is, I would say I like to capture a wedding day, literally. So when you watch it back, it's like through the eyes of one of your guests. I mean, I feel that in this industry, words like authentic are possibly overused because we know that's what people want, and that's obviously what most of us strive to achieve. We want to create something real, something authentic, but I would say that my style is kind of realistic. I want to take my couples away from the everyday world. That is the most amazing thing about our jobs, right? We get to live like someone's dream day, however many times a year. It's a privilege. But I would say that I'm kind of almost on this, and I think I know what you guys are going to ask me after I say this. I kind of feel like elevated home movie. So something that that kind of brings all those emotions together that we would feel from when we watched, when you now watch what may have been captured by our families when we were little. I want to put you back in that day and in that moment, as opposed to literally transport you into a world where that's not every day. I mean, I loved cinematic. I would still say I'm cinematic to an extent, especially with my couple stuff. I love that. I love people to be like, oh my gosh, is that me? Is that me? But I don't want to take away from the kind of real feeling of a wedding and what that's about.
And I think that's like right on the money, because when we were watching your films, and that's what I said to Jason, I was like, I feel like our style it's got that home movie-esque about it, but still very polished. It's like you said, that it's still parts of it has that kind of like cinematic flair, especially your couple shoot stuff, because your couple shoot stuff is like really, really strong. But
thanks. It's my favourite.
But there was still that home movie feel about certain aspects in the way that you shoot. It was just, it was really lovely, like as it is on the tin,
You have no idea how happy that makes me, because I'm the biggest imposter syndrome person ever. Like, even the fact that you guys have found me in the realm of incredible talent that we have, and gone, oh, I like that. That means a lot.
Even
because I just like to have a nice time.
Yeah, I think it was really evident from the films, because it just felt like there was a closeness between you all on the day, and even like browsing your website, it just felt good browsing it. I remember just going like, yeah, I just like everything about this. It was
the website's very cohesive as well, like the branding and stuff like that. Like, I feel like everything's like really right on the money for what you deliver is in terms of your style. So
thank you. I could actually cry. I'm not, but this actually means so much. See, I just said I'm just a girl who likes weddings.
Also,
like, I don't.
Yeah, your music choice as well. Your music choice as well. It was also because it's very consistent. Yeah,
it's nice. It's like modern. It's not like it's not. Certainly in the films that we watched, it wasn't. I don't know what the word I'm trying to say, but it was modern. It wasn't kind of like very vintage or timeless or anything like that. But it was very like modern home movie style. It was like home movie modern kind of. Just a really, really nice style that don't know if
Music Bed Honeys. I know you guys rep Music Bed.
Yeah. There is no alternative. No alternative.
But,
no, it was just it was a very nice. It was just nice to see that kind of like home movie style being with the sprinkling of like that kind of cinematic flair and the modern music.
Yeah.
Because some of the tracks, I don't know, it felt like quite almost like Russell Kent Nichols kind of like style of kind of like song choice and stuff like that as well. So
it's so interesting that you said that, because if you were to say who's your inspiration, I love Russell. It's always been like Russell. Like, I've followed him for years. He's obviously skyrocketed, but I've always loved his. When I was in my early days, when I was trying to find my way and where did I fit, like Russell was the one who I kind of looked up to.
Yeah, no, you can definitely see the influence, and you're a Lumix gal. You're one of the.
I am a Lumix girl. I didn't want to say it. I am a Lumix girl.
One of the gang.
Yes, one of the gang. Have been pretty much since the start as well.
Yeah, same. GH5 for me when I first started, and had that. I mean, I had it, and then I started shooting weddings. I shot one wedding with it, and I went, yeah, I'm going to have to go to full frame, I think. Because I didn't have lights at that point, and I was like, I need more light from that. I I think I'm just gonna have to get a new camera.
But yeah, you're pretty much like handheld majority of the day. It seems like obviously when you're walking around to
All
film stuff.
handheld.
Yep, and that kind of
Again,
adds
the
to that.
incredible thing about the stabilization, it blows people's minds. They're like, that's entirely handheld. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it just one lens all day? Are you just one camera, one lens all day, or like?
Predominantly. So I have 3 bodies, a mixture of S5 and F5.2s. But I guess I'm pretty standard in the sense that I'll obviously provide full ceremony and speeches. That's multicammed. But I'm generally on one body and my darling Sigma 50mm. So the majority of what you see, certainly most recently, has been my 50mm. You know, where you kind of have phases where you're like, oh, actually, I really like this lens. I'm going to use this lens for a bit. And I'm not so much about swapping out. I will capture pretty much everything on the same lens, on the same body. Obviously, I've got multiple bodies. Just in case. But it's like I'll kind of just have my one camera that I'm just grabbing constantly out of my bag or have on me.
Is that the 1.2?
It's a yes. Is it a 1.2? I think it's a 1.4.
1.4.
I need to get on this.
I love it.
I need to get on this Prime game because every film that I start, like whenever we bring people on, and I'm like, oh, I really like that element of this, and everyone is always using the 50mm, and I'm like, I've just
50, man. Nifty 50.
I've just got to get on it. Like,
since ditching the 24-70, I've loved it. And I even got the 28-70 Sigma just because I was like, just kind of everybody else is using it. I'm like, see what all the fuss is.
Yeah.
I still just gravitate to the 50. I don't know. There's just something about it. That, and obviously it goes down to 1.2, but it's just it's a nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice lens. Sigma make great lenses.
2025, 2026, baby.
So talk to us about Bali.
Have you been to Bali?
About Bali.
Have you been to Bali?
Did you know I went to Bali?
Yeah.
You could clip this because this winds so many of my mates up.
Oh, does it?
Did you know I went to Bali? I went to Bali once. I actually was telling Will while the half there. I was like, oh yeah, the guys have said they want to ask me about Bali. He went, fucking Bali. So it's like my personality type. Yeah, so I went to Bali. I went. Have you guys heard of LARC workshops?
Yes.
I went with LARC.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was for me. I think what's really, I guess some people would potentially find a bit unusual about my choice to go pretty much the other side of the world with my cameras, but with no intention of becoming destination. I just wanted an adventure.
Yeah.
Fair play. I can relate to that, yeah.
Yeah, I think, and so for me, it was an itch I've always wanted to scratch. I've always wanted to go to Bali. Never got there. A series of potentially you could call unfortunate events in my life meant that I found myself needing to do something for me after many, many years of not being able to do anything for me. And it was absolute fate because I saw when it came up at the time, I thought, well, there's no way I can go to Bali because I've got a 3-year-old, for example. That alone was like, well, I can't go to Bali. I am responsible.
Yep.
I'm an adult. I still look for the adult in the room, by the way. I did. As a teacher all the time, I was like, so where's the adult? I've got 30 kids and I'm apparently responsible for them. So yeah, I literally got the ticket like 3 weeks before. And it was just and to be honest, I just went to just have fun because, as you would know, we're so fortunate in our jobs to work. Weddings in themselves are amazing, but we rarely get the chance to be creative and to just see how something unfolds. And obviously, Bali is very different to the Midlands. It has sea, for example. We don't have any sea near here. So when I went just for myself, just to have a bit of fun. And in terms of actually what it did for me as a shooter, it wasn't really for portfolio. Obviously, of course, I've still got it. I still have like it on my NAS. I have it on a special hard drive. I will never get rid of any of that footage, even though I've evolved so much as a filmmaker since then.
Yeah.
But it was literally just a case of pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And I actually realised when I did it how much it helped me as a videographer on a wedding day. Obviously, we get you on a wedding day. We know we have to act fast. We have to be very quick in how, you know, in doing our light, doing our focus, because obviously we have to react to what's in front of us. But actually going to somewhere with a challenging environment, because oh my God, it was so hot, and carrying my kit bag, it was in itself a physical challenge. And I was like, yeah, destination work is not for me. I learned that.
That would have been an incredible experience. So I know, obviously, like Jason and I done it wasn't quite Bali, but we went over to Ireland as part of the...
Compare Ireland to Bali.
But doing
Similar.
doing the Runaway Vows kind of like in McKay Films. It was the Wedding Filmmaker Workshop. And it was exciting. It was something kind of like for us just going over, and like we didn't really treat it as like portfolio stuff either. We just wanted to go and hang out with some cool folk that are great at their job and like meet some other people that are kind of like, you know, of the same like-minded. So it's awesome getting to do those, and I would encourage anybody, if they do get the chance, to go and do one of these workshops and maybe not look at it from the point of view as I'm going to go to this workshop and I'm going to become this awesome filmmaker on the back of it. Because if that's your expectation, then you're probably going to be disappointed on the back of it. But, you know, going and meeting other people and having that experience, and, you know, if you come away from it, you know, like I did, and I think like the two of us did, with this, you know, newfound hunger to get back out there and shooting and filming and continuing to grow, that's when you know it's been worth it. Rather than coming back and just feeling like, okay, you know, I'm gonna...
I also think these memories you make on these workshops and these trips, if you are going with a sort of a creative lead, like obviously we went to Ireland, it wasn't just a holiday, we went there with a creative intention to kind of go away and, you know, capture some stuff. You got those locked in, and I always think it's good to remind yourself when, you know, things are tough, maybe at this time of year when you're stuck in the backlog. Like, we do have a really cool job, and going on trips where you get to explore the fun of this job is really important.
Yeah.
A work trip.
Let's tax that shit.
Tax deductible work trip.
My accountant, I switched accountants in the last year, and I said to him, yes, so I went to Bali on a work trip, and he went, yeah, you did. And I was like, I did. I will show you the evidence. But you are so right, because I think for me, one thing I've never got to do when I was younger and free, before I became a responsible adult, was travel. So what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to travel for fun though. Because I mean, I'd love to ask more destination videographers and photographers. It's like, is there any point where you get to the airport and you're like, oh, not again?
I
Do you know what I mean?
I think they probably will, because it's not.
Yeah.
You know, I think there is this allure of being obviously like a destination photographer, filmmaker, and whilst yes, it would be awesome getting to go into all these different places. I think if you're younger and you have no responsibilities, then it would be the best thing ever. You know, so like if I didn't have, you know, if I wasn't married and I didn't have the boys, of which I've got 3, you know, then I would probably be doing a lot of destination work and really not that arsed about being in a hotel or being thingied up in an airport, because it wouldn't really matter because I've got no major responsibilities back home. Yeah. But when you get into, you know, whatever age you have kids, you know, for me it was my late 20s and into my, you know, early 30s, and got married late 20s and that as well. So, you know, we've got the house and there's all these responsibilities. It's not quite, you know, your priorities change. And, you know, and for me, like, I don't even really want to, if I'm shooting a wedding, you know, at the time I would have been in Glasgow, if I was shooting a wedding in Aberdeen, which was, you know, or Inverness, which was like 3.5 hours away, I would drive up and down on the same day because I wouldn't want to not be there for the boys in the morning for getting up, you know, because I would want to see them because I haven't seen them that whole day. So, and like for now, for me, like if I was to do multiple destination weddings a year, that means I'm probably going to be away from them for like, I don't know, a total in the year, maybe, I don't know, like 10, 15 days or something like that. It's like half a month that I'm not seeing them for, which I wouldn't want to do. And the same with Kirsty as well. So I think your priorities just change as just you go through the journey of life.
Yeah, I also think as well, like when it comes to destination weddings, like on the surface it looks so much better, but realistically it's the same job. It's just 20 degrees hotter, and you've got a shortened time scale. Like you are still there to work. You get to see these things, but you are still having to. The pressure's on you to deliver that, and you're doing that in an environment where usually people don't speak your language. So it's challenging. I've definitely lost the desire, but yeah, if I was young and in my 20s and I was single and I didn't have kids, then yeah, screw it. I'd go to Italy for a couple of days and then go to Bali for a couple of days, and then I'd brag about it to my mates and like, yeah, this is great, but no.
It will become your personality.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
Going
well,
to
that's
Bali.
why I'm so glad you guys have mentioned that, because and to reference Coda, because obviously we were on the naughty back corner, the back row.
don't give away the secrets.
And I remember we especially, was it you, Jace? I think it was whoever I ended up sat next to during
me.
Becky Thompson's talk, and she was saying about it doesn't matter if you're not shooting on the Amalfi Coast.
Oh, the fucking
every other
Amalfi
weekend.
Coast. That was great.
I said the polite way, because and actually, like what you guys have said is really resonates with me, because I feel so often that the point that I'm at in my life, I'm trying very hard to redefine what success is to me, because I'm so used to constantly striving for the next goal, for the next achievement. Am I doing enough? Is my work good enough? So, I mean, like I said earlier, that's why I felt quite emotional when you said about my films, because I don't think particularly highly of myself. I don't think that I'm more successful than many people. And you do, obviously, as much as we know that there's an Instagram versus reality, you do still worry that because your business doesn't look like that, and that's what you're being told success looks like, that actually I need to tell myself I'm so fortunate to be able to go and pick up my daughter from school every day, to drop her off, to go to a wedding in between and come home again. And I might not be shooting the most exciting weddings, the most high-end weddings, the most glamorous weddings. I'm going to some of my venues, you know, several times a year, possibly some at nearly double figures. But that in itself, to me, I need to tell myself is success, because I can go, know I do a good job, and come home every night. And why aren't we?
Yeah, and you've created
why
that
isn't
yourself.
that praised more?
This is so important for the majority of us doing this job, is understanding what success means to us, because it's so easy to look at our idols and the people who inspire us and think, oh, I just want what they've got. I wish I could be doing work that was on a level with them and people could be admiring my work. And you don't need admiration to be successful. You need to do a good job for the people who've put their trust in you. There's none of these videographers who you
Sorry,
want.
what?
What's that?
The videographers.
None of these videographers.
Videographers. None of these
None of these
That's my new
videographers.
job title.
None of these videographers that you're wanting to film. None of these people who you aspire to be like or look for their admiration. They're not the people who are putting their trust in you to capture their film.
I know some videographers that are constantly away on destinations, like all the time, that have got young families and are just are not that happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you know, there's there is no perfect scenario in any job that you do. I'd like to think I've got enough life experience now to know that whatever it is that you do, whether I'm a teacher, whether I'm a videographer, whatever I end up doing next, because as we know, this is the only thing that worries me about this incredible life, is that you cannot be filming weddings when you're 60, or can you?
We were talking about this earlier as well, so it's definitely on everyone's horizon.
Yeah, it's and
speak for yourself. 88s, this 91 kid's doing fine.
You're fine. You still. I know. I'm so. Oh God, we'll be 40 before I know it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
it's coming.
But you do. I mean, you do worry. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but even now, like, I think about how I'm not the TikTok generation. I love to doom scroll TikTok, and this is how me and my other half communicate. We communicate just purely by sending TikToks and memes to each other. But as a business tool, you know, I know people keep saying, well, you should get on TikTok. I was like, I just don't think I can. I feel like I'm past it already. And therefore, how do I make sure that what I put out there resonates with people who are probably about 10 years younger than me, and are only going to get younger than me?
Go, and if you've not already, go back and listen to last week's episode of the podcast, because we talked about we talk about TikTok on that one. Just for clarity, that's the one that we've also recorded today that's going to be out on Thursday. So that was just for people that are listening to this. So, but for you, the podcast coming up, go and listen to that one. So that's got Adam Lowndes. He's a photographer that's doing really well on TikTok.
Oh, I know that name.
If your editing backlog is stressing you out, Bride and Groom Video are here to help.
You get a dedicated account manager that matches an editor to your unique style, so your films can get delivered without the overwhelm.
Listeners of That Wedding Videographer podcast get £75 off their first order by using the code TWVP75.
And for UK videographers only, brideandgroom.video have launched a special package price for feature and highlight films just for you.
Plus, you'll also get an extra discount in ceremony and speeches.
This makes it much more cost effective to use brideandgroom.video as your editing studio.
Send your footage, send your brief, and they'll sort the rest.
Hasta la vista, backlog. If you want to give your couples a viewing experience that matches the quality of your films, then VidFlow is the way to go.
Just upload your work, let the couples watch it on their TV, they can view a gallery on their phone, and wrap it up with all your branding so they get the ultimate viewing experience.
Think of it like Netflix, but for wedding films.
Listeners of That Wedding Videographer podcast get 10% off when they use the code TWVP. Hit the link in the show notes to get started.
Level up your wedding film delivery experience today. We noticed on your, we noticed on your packages that you have, I think is it a 15-second, like a teaser, same day teaser?
Yes.
Talk to us about that, because I'm intrigued by that, because I don't think a lot of people are doing that, and I wanted to pick your brains about, you know, why you started that. Do you feel like, you know, do you get that wow factor that I guess that you're probably looking for when you're showing that to the couple, and how does that work? Like, are you editing that on your dinner break and then showing them just after, or talk to us all about that?
This is probably the least groundbreaking thing you're ever going to hear, but so well, firstly, if I on my Instagram at Rather Lovely Films, if you go onto my Reels bit, that I've pinned a reel of me delivering a same day clip to a couple.
Right.
So in terms of if anybody was interested to see actually what does that look like real time, and how do couples react to it. So there was me saying, I'm not very cool. I feel like I'm almost past it, age 37. But one thing that I try to keep my finger on the pulse with is obviously content creation. I know we talk about it, you know, every conversation now involves content creation in some form, and I've very much taken the attitude of, well, if you can't beat them, then join them. We are in essence content creators as videographers, whether we like it or not. We just have better cameras. No matter what people say about iPhone 16, like we still have there is still a clear difference between something that's been shot on our cameras versus an iPhone. And there's nothing wrong with either of them, but that's why sometimes I've started to consider myself almost like having elevated content creation, because it is just one up from what an iPhone can produce. And what I've kind of learned is that couples just want to see something. You know, you've had this amazing day. It's a complete whirlwind. How nice it is to have something to just to keep hold of, because we'll all know, as we've already discussed, at this time of year we are editing and editing and editing, because we know that our deadlines are generally longer than a photographer's, for example. And obviously, if you did have a content creator, you'll have way had that by now if you got married in the summer. So what I do is, as standard, and I've always done this, during dinner I back up. I pull off everything off my cameras so far onto my hard drive, just because it's one less thing I have to do when I get home. Obviously, there might still be some things I have to pull over, but for me, I feel like, yes, it's important to have that downtime, because wedding days are a marathon, not a sprint. But what I do is I edit on Premiere. I pull up my Premiere. I pull off literally 9 times out of 10 the confetti shot, stick it on a slow-mo, stick a grade on it, and it's done in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is enough. It generally speaking, confetti is one of those key moments of the day, isn't it? And it's and I think one thing because we see it all the time, I think we forget that actually for our couples, this is the first time they've seen themselves in that way. Yeah. And I think with the kind of, obviously, the social media and kind of instant gratification society that we live in, it's really as far as I feel personally, it's no skin off my nose to pull off a confetti shot, grade it, put it on my phone and airdrop it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So that's kind of what I said. It's not probably revolutionary.
No, but it's just again, it's just something that nobody's, or not very many people will be doing, myself included.
Yeah.
And you're right. It could be, I mean, I have deliberately not taken my MacBook with me so that I can just decompress, because I don't back up during. I've got my own system when I get home.
Exactly, and we all have our own way of working, and I think that it's so important to say that for me to say I don't judge anybody who does anything a different way. I think the most important thing we could do is support each other. And if that works for someone and someone hears that and goes, actually, that's amazing, I think I might do that and add that to my business.
But
it by no means makes me a better videographer than you.
A couple weeks ago, because I'm the same as Danny, I don't normally back up at the wedding, but this wedding was like a really long drive, and I didn't want to come back and have to do it when I got home. So I took the laptop with me and I backed up the stuff there. And then the groom came over to me when we were having dinner and was just like, is
the highlight film finish yet?
Well, he did say, would it be okay? I know the answer is probably no, but would it be okay for us to get a couple clips of the day? Because the photographer didn't have his laptop, so he wasn't backing up. Would it be okay for us to get a couple clips today so that we could post something on before anyone else does? Because she had a bit of a different dress and knew that people were taking pictures of that. She just wanted something she could share. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can make it happen. So I'm Premiere as well. I basically, once all the files from my main camera were on the drive, I just took all the files, put them on one timeline, and then browsed through until I remember, okay, that was a cool couple shoot one, that was a cool confetti shot, that was a cool first kiss, and I got 5 key moments, and I didn't do any music. I just basically slapped them onto a timeline, put them at half speed, and graded them, and then airdropped it, and she loved it, and it got posted, and it was great. But that was the first time I thought I could easily do this, because this didn't take, excluding the time it took to take the card file onto the drive, it took less than 10 minutes to edit. And
you're going to know what shots are bangers that you're going to want to use anyway. Do you know what I mean? So it's because it's fresh. It's not like you're editing this 6 months down the line.
Yeah,
you
and they can choose whatever song they want to upload that to Instagram too. So it's.
Do you know what? It's a great idea. I might actually start just maybe bringing my laptop with me and seeing how it
I'm going to
goes.
do it. I like it. I think it's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
You know what? I trialed it for most of last season, so 2024, before I made it a thing, because I was finding that again, as we know, Instagram, TikTok, social media thrives off those very short clips. And sometimes I'd be like, I'm super busy this week. I've got, height of the wedding season. I've got loads on. This is a gorgeous wedding. I actually want to be able to post something tomorrow, just to keep content fresh. But then I was like, well, obviously I can't do that without showing the couple.
Yeah.
So it was a very kind of organic decision. I always wonder what was my business going to have in it this time next year that I hadn't even thought about.
And then you started introducing camcorders.
Yeah.
I knew this was coming. Yes.
I feel like that though,
Yeah.
just to quickly interject, but I feel like the camcorder will fit your style like perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, it will slot right in there. Because I'll be honest, like me adding it in, it feels a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out and see if it does actually work or not. But I feel like with your style, it would melt in just perfectly. But so you're bringing out,
Yeah.
but you are bringing out a camcorder only package. Is that right?
Yes. I'm doing my first one on Saturday.
Oh, amazing.
You need to report back. You need to
Oh,
report back.
yeah.
Yes, I was going to say, I'll let you know. Yeah, I think, Danny, what you said about like it fitting in with your style is exactly how I felt about it. Because camcorders are not a new thing in terms of videography.
No.
We've certainly seen other, and it's the same with Super 8. I know videographers have been using it for quite a while. What I was conscious of, and what I've always been quite conscious of, is not jumping on a trend.
Yeah.
Is you might think, oh, that's different. Oh, I really like that. That works really well, but it didn't work for me. And so, for example, I don't do like motion blur or anything. Mm-hmm. Motion blur doesn't work for for my films personally. I think it looks epic, but it doesn't work for me, for example. But I was like, I love the idea of camcorder because, like we said, I'm more of like a kind of home movie, wholesome, realistic kind of vibe. And again, I didn't think to bring in a camcorder. The first time I used a camcorder was in July, and it was a bridesmaid. And I said, can I have that for the day? She was like, sure.
Amazing.
So I basically just hijacked her camcorder. And I said, and I used it more like I don't want to say like a content creator, but more kind of behind the scenesy style. But also I thought, I'll get guests to say messages, and because again, being a journalist, and I as much as I didn't go into that, I was essentially trained in asking questions, getting people's stories out of them in that way. So I'm not afraid to go and chat to people, say, how are you? How are you enjoying the day? So I kind of found that actually that was the angle I wanted to go in at, capturing people's real emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
Because as we would all know, in a cinematic style film, you can't really break that fourth wall. Or whatever it is. Is it the fourth wall, the third wall, whatever the wall is? Whereas the camcorder kind of gives you that opportunity to be a little freer. And you don't have to worry so much about the composition of the shot. You don't have to worry so much about the lighting. And I always have to remind photographers all the time, I have to shoot this way. I have to shoot this way. So I have to think about what's on there and what's on there. Mm-hmm. As much as I wish I could go sometimes. And I do sometimes go, and it changes my life. But again, it has to work at the right moment.
Yeah.
The camcorder stuff is completely brand new. Yeah, so the camcorder stuff I am really enjoying. I think the only thing that I'm not sure of is how I'm gonna. Obviously, it's great for integrating into films, into the cinematic stuff. The camcorder only stuff, I'm still kind of finding my feet with, because obviously from business perspective, and this is where a tiny bit of business comes in, is obviously I don't want to be going out. Obviously, it's got to be a lesser cost, but I don't want to be going out on, say, a prime Saturday in the summer with a camcorder when I could take a full whack booking.
Do you think it needs to be a lesser cost?
I would, well, again, these are all the questions that I'm still working out the answers to myself. Because how I'm going in on at the first wedding is I'm on 4 hours coverage. So I'm essentially treating myself like a content creator.
Yeah.
But they're getting the full recording of their ceremony and speeches, which I do with my proper cameras. Because I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've already got that. So, and again, that's an upcharge. It's just whether or not, sorry, I'm kind of losing my words here. I think with it, obviously there's so much discussion in our industry about what's our value, what will you get out of bed for? Because I actually think I'm cheaper than what a lot of people say I should be. But it's still like going out for half a day. I'm going out at 2:30 and I'm coming back at 8:30, which is going to blow my mind. I'm not around for prep. I'm not around until the dancing. I'm just there because this couple are having kind of a twilighty kind of wedding. And it doesn't really suit a full cinematic masterpiece. So for me, I'm still trying to work out, will I enjoy it, firstly, but also at what cost?
I wonder what the reason for devaluing a camera like that is over your normal setup, because the way I see it,
Yeah.
you know, that camera in your hands is way more useful than their uncle's hand. A hammer in my hand
agree.
is a lot less valuable than the hammer actually is a lot less valuable than a joiner, because I'll just cause damage with a hammer. But simply because the camera is cheaper and older, that doesn't mean that the footage that it's capturing is less valuable.
I would argue as well, because it's a niche.
true.
It's a niche service that nobody else is really offering. Therefore, you don't need to devalue it. You know.
Yeah.
And I think you still got the editing on the other side, which is just as laboursome.
But the potential to be a slightly harder edit, because you need to. It's just you're going to be racking your brain about how to actually.
It's got to be a lot more erratic, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
But I think it just looks so good, and
yeah, it looks great.
I don't. The thing is, like, I guess from a personal point of view, I guess as a videographer, you'd go, oh, would I have that? Just that. I'd love it as an add-on. I'd love you to bring a second shooter, and for them to get that on a day.
Well, that's also part of it. Again, this is like the seed I've just planted, because one thing I was thinking is, do I actually make this? And we have a load of content creators in my area, and I'm like, keep your friends close and your enemies close. No, I love those girls. I know, I have a really good relationship with the content creators in our area, and I thought, actually, like, I have the network. So, we all know how hard it is to get solid second shooters as a videographer. Mm-hmm. But on a camcorder, and somebody who understands the etiquette of weddings, understands, I think that's it. Just like you said, Jace, I've never been somebody to be like, oh, here's a camcorder, let's just see what you come back with. I don't think you can ever trust any wedding guest.
No, you can't.
To get what you need.
No,
and
it's
you can get a fun perspective on the dance floor potentially, or during the drinks reception, but you can't trust them to still get the first kiss.
Because
and those cute little couple moments.
I think having someone dedicated on that camcorder, just maybe not copying all the same stuff he's doing, but maybe as yours are doing the couple shoot, they're in amongst the drinks reception, really getting that, like the Uncle Joe or Uncle Bob is like literally filming it. But I think that'd be great, because I know if I was getting married again and this was an option, I wouldn't go for that alone. I'd love it, but I want the modern product as well. But I also, they don't need to be interlinked. I just want to see what that looks like.
Yeah, but that's exactly why I've started to introduce it, and obviously for me as well, because I've obviously been taking it to weddings that I've been doing, the full videography with so far. I deliver all the files the next day, because obviously just pull them off your memory card, leave them to upload onto Google Drive overnight. Couple have it the next morning, they love it.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same kind of concept as what content creators do, except I can then weave that in.
Yeah.
like we said. Interestingly, though, about what you guys have said about if you were getting married again, another reason why I've introduced this is, I mean, this is a world exclusive that nobody cares about. I'm getting married next year and I'm not having a videographer. I'm having a camcorder.
Oh, I was about to say. It's like,
The videographer's not having a videographer.
but you're having a camcorder.
So why do you not want a videographer?
So, without giving too much away, we because all
shit.
will be revealed next year. Not again, like nobody cares, but my mother might be watching this and she will care. We are having a celebrant wedding, but in England, celebrant weddings aren't legal, so we're having to do the legal bit. But we're gonna have a videographer for the legal bit because we will have the time to just play.
Yeah.
Mine and Will's wedding is we've hired out a restaurant and we're kind of doing bougie dinner party, not full blown wedding. And when I look at my wedding from a videography perspective, if it's raining, you will not be able to do anything.
Okay.
Because you could maybe get very, very creative, but because it's a small intimate space, you haven't got the wide shots. There isn't the opportunity to be cinematic. And so I thought, actually, we'll just camcorder it because it's more about, you know, kind of cozy, just our closest family and friends.
Yeah.
It's not I don't have any friends anyway, but my favourite pretend friends are coming. and that's it, because it's more like a dinner party. It's not going to have the same narrative style and structure that we thrive off as videographers.
Yeah.
So that's also where it came from. Hence, and this wedding on Saturday are not having the full works. It's quite a small, intimate, cozy occasion. And actually, are we missing that opportunity potentially as videographers to capture, to tap into that market of people who want video, who value video, but don't quite, but for whether through personal choice or just through the choice of their day, it doesn't fit that style.
Imagine you just did turn up to a wedding without all your other cameras and you just had a camcorder. Your style would totally change. And I think it would just open up, like, actually, this is how...
You've got no option but to...
Yeah, I think you would just kind of go candidly in, and you would just walk into, like, the drinks reception and, like, be rough and ready with, like, you know, they're getting canopies. You go zoom in into the canopy, and then they're facing... I think if they saw a camcorder, they'd be less threatened than seeing, like, a Lumix.
Oh,
in their face.
people love the
There's nothing wrong with a
camcorder.
Lumix.
People wave to it and all
bloody dare you.
sorts.
There's nothing wrong with a Lumix.
I never said that. I just said it's more daunting than a camcorder.
No, but I think like
Or a Sony.
Even with that
Camp Snap.
Camp Snap one that we've got, like it is, people are like, oh, that looks cool. Like there's a different feel towards it. Much like when people see the Super 8 camera and they hear it and they're like, like you see people turn around, you know. So no, it's cool. You definitely need to report back how it goes. I'm looking forward to hearing how you get on.
Yeah.
One question though that we do like to ask all of our guests that come in the podcast is what your biggest balls up is at a wedding, just to help humanise people.
Many. Every wedding I go to.
Your biggest one, your most standout one.
Oh gosh, I think, you know what, I'm going to be quite boring and say I've not done anything spectacularly balls up-ish. I've had the classic where I didn't press record during the confetti shot, realised in my horror, and then suddenly went, just have one more kiss, guys. They never
To be fair,
knew.
that's a pretty big
They
balls
never
up.
knew.
That's my biggest balls up.
It's a massive, everyone at some point in their life has not pressed record on the confetti shot, I'm sure. I think for me, you know what? I think this is such a people-facing job. We are going into people's lives and their families on the most special day. I try very hard to make sure that I know everybody's names, as in mum and dad's names, or obviously family politics. And it doesn't matter how well prepared I am, I will still like assume that a brother and a sister, a boyfriend and girlfriend, or do you know what I mean?
Just
Like
kiss each
I
other,
try
please.
so hard.
Not
Try
on the lips,
so
on
hard.
the lip.
I think the worst, and this is actually my memory from this year because I've just edited it as well, and I kind of, my stomach turned a little bit when I remembered. It was a wedding where something had clearly gone down between a mum and a dad.
Oh.
Very badly, and again, me being nosy, I was like trying to get the information, but I couldn't get it from anybody. I was like, normally I could at least charm a groomsman into telling me. But prior to that, I just knew Dad wasn't going to be present. He might turn up, but he wouldn't be present. And then during the ceremony, I noticed there was a man next to the mother. Assumed that was their partner. So then, during the group photo, do you want your partner to come in next to you? Oh, it's only the estranged dad. Who was so disgraced he was sent away after the ceremony. And I was like, oh no. I've literally, and it was really bad. Like there was a lot of tears. There was, it was the worst. And I was like, I've literally just said to this very traumatized mother, do you want to stand next to your partner?
What, stand next to B?
Yeah, no. And people are so graceful, aren't they? But at the same time, I was like, I'm so sorry. I've made a traumatic event so much. I didn't say sorry because I just was like, I'm going to make it worse.
Oh, man.
You know, sometimes you're like, I'm just going to walk away. Yeah. We're just going to carry on.
Yeah.
But I would say that's my biggest balls up is just it's just making
anymore.
these assumptions on horrendous family politics.
Yeah. I had to console a photographer a couple of weeks back. I wasn't with him at the time, but he was doing family group shots on the front step of this building, and I just came out. I was like waiting for him to finish, and then I just jotted out so I didn't get the shot. And he had his head in his hands. And I was like, what's up? I've just cocked up, mate. I've just cocked up. I was like, what's going on? So you see her over there, right? I asked her if she'd like a picture with her daughter, but that's the bride's sister. So he asked the person, thinking that it was the bride's mother, and it was her sister.
Oh no! Oh.
Now the thing is, initially I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I literally had my whole fist in my mouth when he said it. I'm like, I don't know how to help you here. But I will say this: like, it was an older couple. So I said, "Look, like the groom is almost 50. There is some leeway here. You didn't ask a 20-year-old if they were someone's mother, right? Like, so you do have that, but at the same time, she was still horrified. Like." It's like, what do you do?
That's him fucked as well the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That's it though. I mean, I assume you guys don't have this problem. I think the worst for me is I'm a girl who likes my McDonald's. I like my carbs, and certainly in the summer where you can't wear your layers because it's just too hot.
Yeah.
And I do get the odd occasion where someone goes, "When are you due?"
Oh no.
And I go, I'm not. And then you just know that they have to look at you all day.
Do you want to hear a horror story about that? Right.
Yes.
We used to have a window cleaner in our flat.
You've got 4 minutes.
We used to have a window cleaner in our flat, and my wife was working at home in her like big Oodie onesie thing, right?
Oh.
And the window cleaner comes up, chaps at the door. She's right there and goes, "Oh, hiya." And he's like, no. And she opens the window. "Congratulations. When are you due?"
Oh no.
We'd been trying to have a kid for 4 years at that point. So he's like, "Okay, I'll just clean the windows." We never saw him again. He was cancelled immediately after that.
Why do people say that?
I know. It's just not a question you need to ask.
No.
But that's it, isn't it? It's like, I mean, I think the worst was a few years ago. It was a summer wedding, and I just put a long dress on. But it was quite tight fitting, and literally I walked into bride prep. This is the first thing, and Mum straight away put a hand on my tummy.
No.
When you due, and I was like, "We've just met. This is literally the first encounter I had," and I was like,
touch.
"We've got a long 10 hours ahead."
Don't touch. No touching.
I know. Oh, I think that. I mean, I know some people could say, "Oh, well, you must sometimes benefit from being a female videographer because especially around brides and in morning prep and stuff." But that's the other side of it. Because it's never. It's always generally slightly older women who assume, and I go, no, I would be being very sick right now because I had a terrible pregnancy. So I would not be here if I was pregnant.
Oh my God.
But on that particular occasion as well, my dog had died the week before, so I had been eating my feelings. So I was awful to this guest, and I went, "No, my dog died, so I've just been eating a bit more." And she's like, "Okay," and then skulked away. So yeah, that's my fun story.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the pod today. We've really enjoyed getting to chat with you. Loads of
it's been a joy.
takeaways.
It's been rather lovely.
It has been. But there's loads of stuff like that both Jason and I will take away from this, and I'm sure our listeners will as well. You know, in terms of like the little 15-second kind of same day teaser and stuff, and
people who are considering camcorders and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much for spending the time to chat with us.
A pleasure.
Where can people find you if they want to reach out to you?
You can find me at Rather Lovely Films. Just Rather Lovely Films.
There you go.
On Instagram. I guess that's where. Does everyone just go to Instagram now?
Well, after last week's episode, half of us will be on TikTok.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Better make that TikTok account.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, that is all we've got time for this week, folks. Thank you very much. That has been That Wedding Videographer podcast. I've been Danny.
I've been Jace.
And I've been Lou.
See you next week.